The only thing I know for sure is that I'm gonna knock him out in the first round or submit him in the first round, because he walks forward. I'm not gonna need to close the distance with him. Since the first moment, we are gonna find each other in the center of the octagon. So, yeah, it's gonna be a first round finish.
Bro, a lot of times, guys and fighters' mindset, like words become things, man. Like they can talk stuff into their body believing it. It's just on the opposite side of that. What happens when Charles is getting off the stool for the third, fourth, fifth round? You see your own blood and you're in a real fight after telling yourself this for however many weeks that you're going to run through this guy, and the guy's in front of you, touching you and still there when you thought he wouldn't be. That's only Ilia knows that. You know, we'll find out. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, what Ilia Topuria has done in such a short space of time, let's be honest, really is incredible. The confidence that he has exuded since day one, changing his profile to the featherweight champion and all the rest of it, but then backing up his words at every single juncture. I mean, the man has been phenomenal. He's knocked out Max Holloway when that couldn't be done. He beat Alexander Volkanovski. He fought his way to a title fight. He's been nothing but impressive. He's got bags and bags of charisma. He's an international superstar. It's no wonder that he's headlining international Fight Week. But none of that matters because he's going up against Charles Bronx Oliveira. Yeah, the guy's reckless. Yeah, the guy gets clipped. But the guy is one of the most exciting fighters that we've ever seen in the sport. We know he's a bonus machine. We know he's a former champion. We know that he's going to be full of confidence on the night. You throw these two in the middle of the octagon, main event, UFC 317, International Fight Week. Come on. It doesn't get better than that.
Fair, but I gotta tell you, Justin Gaethje has said the hardest man he has ever been hit by, without hesitation, was Charles Bronx Oliveira. So definitely does have a lot of power. But yeah, I mean, I think there are maybe paths of least resistance that don't necessarily involve a kickboxing match with Ilia Topuria. But I think Charles has a lot of confidence, and I think he has a lot of confidence in his preparation and in his gym and in his team. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pull guard. He's a fascinating fighter with which to deal for Ilia Topuria, and I'm fascinated to see, you know, this 5'6" Ilia Topuria, you know, trying to become the UFC welterweight champion after this, you know. So
that's incredible.
It's a great fight, but I can't overstate just how telling it is to hear the fellow fighters talk about Ilia Topuria. You know, Corey Sandhagen just like deadpans, like with respect to Charles. I just think. I just think Ilia's going to knock him out. And yeah, I think for Ilia, just the vision, right? As Volkanovski said, the focus in those critical moments. A lot of it's just straight athleticism and there's bravery. Yeah, I just think vision, focus, he's got it all.
It's a fun fight. It's a fun matchup. I think Charles needs to fight Ilia the same way he fought me. He was all the way in or he was all the way out. He never really fought me at that boxing range. If he was in, it was clinch work, body locks, you know, a lot of energy, but he smothered my boxing. Or he was at kicking range using those long front kicks. He's a long range guy. He needs to be all the way in or all the way out. He cannot play the boxing pocket game. You know, he needs to be clinching. He doesn't need to be exchanging shots in the pocket with the shorter guy who can crack.
Charles Oliveira's thing. Charles does have some things that can stop that, like those teeps up the middle, not allowing Ilia to come forward without paying the price. Got to pay the entry fee to come in. So if he's throwing them teeps, and he also does a good job of throwing those little front kicks to the legs to stop the forward movement of Ilia. So those little things that Charles does, he can really distract Ilia. He can stop him from coming forward. He can distract him. Then maybe land some punches of his own. But he's got to do it. He's got to do it in a way where Ilia is a little confused, and that's going to be the hard part because Ilia is always so sharp in terms of his awareness and his vision. He's sharp, so it's hard to confuse him.
Absolutely, I think they're overlooking Charles. And Charles, if he's able to mix in his Muay Thai, what I mean, like his knees and his kicks, and he's able to use those as fakes, it's going to be a really difficult fight for Ilia. And I think people don't understand. The last two fights, Ilia was able to win those fights not because of his boxing, but because of his leg kicks. And Charles is very good at defending the leg kicks. So it's not going to be an easy fight.
I don't think Charles Oliveira is going to be on the back foot at all. I think he's going to
you know, that's something that'll be different for Ilia. I don't think he's ever had someone be like, nah, jam forward as well, if that makes sense. So we'll see how Ilia goes if he's on the back foot. I think I've seen him a couple of times where he had to go on the back foot a little bit. He just doesn't have the same shots, you know, have the same strikes, or, you know, his game plan to find the shot just changes a little bit, and I think it throws him off a little bit. So I think earlier on, seeing that adjustment will be interesting, because I think Charles is going to come with, even though he's high, there would be opportunities for Ilia to land, but I feel like he maybe if Ilia's on the back foot, let's see how he goes there. That's going to be interesting.
I can certainly see a point where Topuria gets he gets sick of dropping Charles Oliveira but not being able to put him away entirely. Like, I mean, think about this as a scenario, right? So the first round starts, Topuria comes out and he cracks Oliveira with one big shot and drops him. Oliveira sits to his butt and then kind of welcomes him to the floor, and Topuria's like, no, I'm not playing this game, back to your feet. And then he could drop him once, twice more, but not feel confident to rush in and try and TKO finish. Like, it might be the second, third, fourth time that he drops him. He's like, right, I'm going to have to just go and finish the job and get the referee to stop it, because this is not going to be a walk-off knockout. He's too tough. And then he rushes in, he starts landing some big shots. And in the scramble, you can see Oliveira arm dragging him or invert him for an ankle lock, you know, entangling him with some kind of calf slicer that then allows him to climb to his back. I mean, I could give you a few different scenarios like that, but it would be that kind of circumstance, I think, where Topuria's dropped him and then, you know, chases it up on the ground. And I think that would come out of frustration of not being able to get the finish on the feet.
It's a unique matchup because on the ground, Oliveira is so dangerous, and he doesn't mind getting taken down or giving up the takedown to get to his back. I don't know if Ilia thinks he's going to walk through Oliveira. He might, but you just never know. He might, you know, get caught on the way in thinking overly confident, okay, I can take this guy out, and then end up on the ground, you know, half rocked, and, you know, Oliveira jumps on his neck and it's a wrap.
I do think for Charles, I mean, obviously he's got a chance. Obviously he's a great fight and a former champion. I think if Charles goes extra Charles, that's his best chance. I think he has to go extra berserker. He does have to make it dirty. Yeah, going forward with the chin exposed might not be advisable, but I also think it's his best chance of winning the fight. You know, to land something big on Ilia, to hurt him, to drop him, to then snatch the neck.
Flying knees and flying jump front kicks.
I just don't see this fight lasting, and I think Charles is honestly going to really go after him with a vengeance to try to put him away. The whole fight to me is based upon range. You know, Charles has got length on Ilia. He does well fighting on the outside. Ilia is way better on the inside. You know, you can sit there and talk about, oh, look, Charles got his Muay Thai and the plum. No, it's different when you got a guy that's throwing the shots that Ilia throws when he steps inside that booth. He is just incredibly sharp, and his angles that he takes, the way he throws his shots, the angle that it comes on, very difficult to stop. He's got power, you know, and so it really comes down to that, you know, who wins the range war? Whoever wins the range war wins the fight. You know, does Charles have the ability to keep him on the outside? I don't think so. I think that Ilia will get himself in range where he wants to be, and that's where problems will start.
Of course, Topuria trying to make history, trying to become a 2-division champion in the UFC. I believe one of the best fighters in mixed martial arts at the present moment, and can't wait to see him go against Charles Oliveira, who is just an offensive wizard.
This is the happiest I ever have been in my training camps because of the weight cut. I have been able to enjoy the whole process, and I feel ready, man. I don't know, I think you guys are not even expecting to what you're gonna see on June 28th.